So, Ballistic's gone, and Battle Stage, but nobody played that, and Rocket Racing will be removed in fall of this year. So that brings up an important question. Is the metaverse dying? Now, I know that's a difficult question considering all the modes involved with the metaverse, and to answer the question, I'm going to talk about the state of the metaverse modes, the rumored Disney modes, and what I think this means for Fortnite. Festival is a rock band type mode with two spin-off modes. Jam Stage, which is actually a pretty good DJ kind of mixing type of game where you use your different jam tracks to make new songs. And the recently retired mode Battle Stage, which was a PvP version of Main Stage. I'm not going to be talking about Jam Stage because it's really not that relevant, but let's talk about Battle Stage. This mode was not updated at all besides a few minor updates. Now, to be fair, this mode had an average player count of 500, but it might have been better if they cared for the mode. Now on to Jam Stage. This mode is doing pretty good besides one thing. They're doing a very bad job at introducing new jam tracks. They used to release new jam tracks very frequently, and they used to be in the shop all the time, no matter what. But now they only release very little jam tracks, and some of them are ones from old festival passes. And they rotate in the shop, where there's only like 30 in the shop at a time, and that's just not a good thing. But other than that, I think Festival's in a really good trajectory, especially with the new Leve season coming out soon. Now, about LEGO Fortnite, I'm going to keep this segment short and sweet because I think this game mode's not going anywhere. It's pretty good off. Now, Brick Life, on the other hand, yeah, that's getting the boot next. This mode is just pointless, and if Battle Stage is going, this will certainly be next. Now for the two modes that are getting removed, starting with Rocket Racing. Seeing Rocket Racing go soon is kinda sad because of how much potential this mode had. It seems like Fortnite forgot about this mode the second they published it. They could have done so much with this game mode. Just imagine if there was like a secondary mode for Rocket Racing that was more wacky with items, more experimental maps, stuff like that. But no, they only added a few maps and forgot about it. To be fair, the maps they did add were really good in my opinion, but it was so forgotten to where not one person was making a video on it. And plus, who would want to play Rocket Racing when you could play Pixel Studios Super Ramp with a new event? Speaking of Ballistic, let's move on to talking about it. And if you thought Rocket Racing was wasted potential, this was 20 times worse. This mode had crazy potential within the tactical shooter genre. This mode had a few things that other tactical shooters didn't have. Fortnite movement, which is really good in my opinion for a tac shooter, and wackiness. The amount of funny clips I've seen from this mode is crazy. And don't get me started on how good that medieval map was. It was such a good looking map. But instead of making polished map, they decided to make untextured slop and call it experimental. No, Epic. That's just laziness. Not to mention that Epic deadass only made one major update for it and didn't even promote it besides a blog post. They did this mode dirty. Now, I'm not saying I was a D1 ballistic laser or anything like that, but this mode still deserves so much better. Now, I wanted to take this last segment of the video to talk about what I think this means for the future of Fortnite. And me personally, I do not think this is a good thing. I think they should not pursue the metaverse again for a few reasons. One, we all know that these metaverse modes are usually a flop if they're not frequently updated or if they're unpolished, and I do not have hope in Epic to make these modes good. Two, I don't think that this will be good for Battle Royale, as it wasn't good in Chapter 5, and we all know how Chapter 5 went. Did I mention I don't like Chapter 5? Now, does this mean I think the game is bad or the game is dying? No, of course not. I think the game is doing great as a whole. Even after the V-Bucks changes and the employee layoffs, I still think Season 2 is one of the best seasons in a while. But now to answer the question of is the metaverse dying, I would say yes, it is. But I think it's not dead yet. I think if they update Festival and LEGO so they don't end up dying like Ballistic and Rocket Racing, and they make a really good Disney extraction shooter and frequently update it, it will actually be in a good state for once, but it could very easily die if Fortnite doesn't frequently update the Disney mode and the other metaverse modes. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. This might have not been that great of a video, because I haven't done a ranting type video yet, but there's a first time for everything, right? Alright, bye-bye.